Hey, Gen Geek fam. We are live at the comic shop, and today we are talking about De-Mayo. Agatha all along, Penguin, Watchmen Chapter 1, all at the comic shop. You never know what we're going to talk about, but we're going to talk about it today. Check it out. What up? All right, we're here in the house. We got Eddie. We got Tommy. One more time.
Onassis.
Yes, I want to say oh.
Yeah.
And we got Jay and Doc Solo. We are live. Today is Wednesday, October 2nd. And we have some new drops come out that everybody's been waiting on. What we have dropped, Tommy?
We got the big deal. We got the DC All-In Special.
All in. What else?
Next to that, we got the completion of Absolute Power. The thing that you gotta read before you read the All-In Special.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm caught up. I'm caught up. Sounds like a plan. All right. So.
Is Onassis in shot?
Huh?
Is Onassis in
No.
shot?
You gotta come in. Oh, there you go. There we go. Come on in. We gotta have everybody in shot. Everybody in shot. Good stuff. All right. So I know what I want to talk about first.
Okay.
Watchmen Chapter 1 just dropped.
Yeah, digital, right?
Yeah, on digital.
Yeah.
I started watching it before I got here. I don't quite know how I feel about it, to be quite honest. Not completely sold per se.
To the comic book.
Is it truer to the comic book? Here's my problem. Do we need another Watchmen iteration? Is my question.
In a different,
think so.
in a different medium.
Is this, I'm not even familiar with it.
I don't think so. I actually like Zack Snyder's Watchmen.
Me too.
Yeah.
I thought it
loved
was a good job.
Man, it
Yeah.
was
I think
so
he
good.
did a great job with the Watchmen.
Yeah.
The follow-up series on HBO, which was
With
good.
Mother Night.
Yeah.
that was
With
excellent
Mother Night,
too.
yeah.
So
Sister
it's
Night, whatever her name is, yeah.
Why you got to go animate on it? It's not like you're telling a different story.
It's the same story. That's exactly what I
Right.
said.
So
How
it's
many
animated.
times can you tell the same?
animated.
It's animated.
Like,
It's
I
animated.
mean, like the new with the Lois Ring movie, Ward Rohirrim. That's a whole different story.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you can
Yeah.
use that in a different
Yeah.
format, but
Facts.
it's the same Watchmen.
Yeah, it is. I don't know if I needed another Watchmen, to be quite honest. The animation, not my cup of tea. It is that very clay, very weird 3D with the dark, heavy lines. Trying to get the comic book feel. Not a fan. Not a fan of it in general. But I will say this: what I saw from the story thus far, 30 minutes, 25 minutes in, the storytelling's solid.
Okay.
If that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
And so, to be clear, never been a Watchmen fan. I still believe that it was a lot of hype because stuff was coming from Great Britain. I believe that it was I believe it was more novelty than substance. Me personally,
I love Watchmen.
I like the Watchmen.
You like the comic or the movie?
I read the comic.
I like both of them. I'm a fan.
I
of
didn't care much about the.
I was a fan of both.
I'm a fan.
I
of
was
a
not a
fan-
fan of the comic.
I was a fan
thought
of
it
the
was
movie.
boring. I thought it was largely
It's
boring.
definitely dated, and
It's dated for now.
Yeah.
it's the
For now.
British. It's the British view of the Cold War.
Yeah,
For
it's,
sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
basically, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it's different from our seeing the Cold War.
Yeah.
It's what they think the Cold War was.
Yeah, I found it largely boring, and I know that's countercultural. I know it's one of those sacrosanct properties
Don't
in
say
comicdom.
that.
But
Yeah,
action,
don't knock one of our.
but
our-
action-wise, it's not a ton of action in the Watchmen.
It's
No,
not. It's
that's
not.
what I thought. As a
It's
comic,
definitely, it's
it is
definitely,
boring,
it's
as a
definitely
comic, as a graphic novel, I thought it was boring.
Yeah, that's-
I love Zack Snyder's
The movie, yeah,
Watchmen.
yeah.
I
It
love
delivered it perfectly.
HBO's
Yeah,
Watchmen.
he moves it up. He puts
Yes.
action in it. He moves
Yes.
he moves the pace along. You
Yeah.
get the
Yes.
dialogue points, but you get a smoother pace.
Yeah.
And you
What
got to
a
remember,
movie.
when it came out, I was, Came out, 85?
85,
86?
Oh.
85, 86?
Wasn't born yet.
I stole it from the library. Don't act like y'all didn't do it.
Oh, I'll be telling a lie. I probably read a ton of comic books from
They
the
probably
library.
hunt me down by now. I actually swiped it from the library. A kid and maybe it was too highbrow for me at that stage of life. But I thought it was boring.
Yeah,
Okay.
I liked it, but it was definitely more of a conversation piece than a fist fight. It
Yeah.
wasn't the
Yeah.
Batman graphic novel.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. And granted, comics can be anything, right? I mean, it can be anything. And I just didn't get all the hype about it. Is what I didn't get. Right? I got the meta commentary. It was there, but it was basically a glorified murder mystery
Yeah.
set against the Cold
Came out
War.
in 86.
With a few guys in
Well, the
costumes
comic
thrown in.
deconstruction of it all. I mean, that's Alan Moore.
It's Alan
I
Moore.
didn't know that back
Yeah, I didn't either.
Yeah.
I didn't know
I
his
didn't
style
catch
back
that.
then. I was young, so I didn't
Yeah,
know what that
Alan
was.
Moore.
But I enjoyed the way the storytelling. It was interesting. There's only one really superpower being in the whole thing.
That,
Right.
yeah.
Dr. Midnight.
Right.
Everybody else was
Dr. Manhattan,
Dr.
right.
Manhattan. Everybody
Right.
else was regular
Just people.
costume guys,
Right.
like a Batman knockoff type of guy.
And we got those today, going around San Francisco and wearing hockey masks and going on
Phoenix-
patrols.
Phoenix
You know,
Jones.
we had them in the '70s with the Guardian Angels. I mean,
Yeah.
so I
Yeah.
love Zack Snyder's. That's what got
Yeah,
it took it to
the
a,
movie.
the
Really
movie.
he did an
The
excellent
movie made
job.
me a fan of the property
Yeah.
general.
He did an excellent job. And,
Then when HBO Max came with
did.
Regina
Regina
King,
yeah,
King.
that was excellent too.
love the direction of that. Right, love the direction. Great story. This one, the story is not bad to me. I have to finish it, but there of course it's the Watchmen story, but you're getting multiple lenses,
Okay.
right, of events, right. Of course, opening up with Rorschach, right, which is everybody's, especially this one's
Who doesn't
favorite.
like Rorschach?
Who doesn't like Rorschach?
He's
Right?
like the maniac Batman.
Exactly. And I just never understood why nobody just didn't put a bullet in him. I just never got it.
I mean,
Just-
you know,
I
You gotta
you know,
see him coming.
Same reason no one's put a bullet in Joker.
yeah, I mean, you know,
It's
I mean, he.
You know,
I can't imagine he's the slowest guy. I mean, he just seems like he's
A little tiny Wolverine.
a little tiny Wolverine
Yeah.
type of cat, moving
Just
real
moving
fast.
around real fast.
yeah.
And you don't really think he can do the stuff he can do.
Yeah, I mean he's a brute. I
mean-
loved him in the movie,
Yeah, the stuff like the whole
So-
scene with.
but it was told through his lens.
I'm not
oil
locked in
and
here with
frying
you.
pan
You locked
in
in
the
here with
prison.
me? Yeah.
You're not thinking of that. You're not thinking this little guy's gonna take this big guy out in
Yeah.
such a brutal way.
Yeah.
No.
What are you saying,
I was
Eddie?
just kind of looking at the trailers. I kind of appreciate that. I like that animation style. I mean, as long as it's moving well. I mean, the trailer for it looked fun. I'd watch that.
Let me tell you something. For me, it's being an animator. It's more of I've seen better, right? You understand what I'm saying? It's not horrible. Anything that helps you navigate through the story. I mean, that's what comics does, right? It's just a vehicle for us to traverse the story. It's just I think from an animation standpoint, I've seen now graphically it looks good. Like the designs are nice, right? The character designs and the world. They changed the cars, made them futuristic.
Yeah.
Right. The atmosphere is nice. It's the actual animation, right? The actual movement that I'm not a
I have
fan
to
of.
look at it because when you're used to watching like Japanese animation and stuff
Yeah.
like where the movement is real smooth.
Real
Yeah.
fluid.
Everything's real fluid.
It's smooth, but it's computer generated.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the folds don't fold. The mouths look kind of gummy when they talk. You dig what I'm saying?
I don't watch a lot of animation, but on a lark, I rewatched Fire and Ice. Do you remember?
Okay,
I
yeah,
do
but-
remember
yeah, I
Fire and
remember
Ice.
that.
That was
Yeah.
rotoscope,
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
it?
yeah.
That was
Yeah.
rotoscope.
So
Yeah.
I don't know
Right.
if you're. I mean, that's kind of
That's-
your wheelhouse. But I don't
Yeah.
know how much you know.
Fire.
Some
I
of that
love
older
Fire and
stuff.
Ice. That was good.
That's a fun movie.
No.
It is fun.
Just,
Yeah.
just that style.
Yeah.
I recommend it. It's cool.
Yeah. I mean, Fire and Ice is good.
Yeah. It's
So-
not weird like the Lord of the Rings animation. Who did
Right.
that stuff?
Yeah, that
Oh,
was
you talking about
Bakshi.
Bakshi.
Bakshi. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
Bakshi.
not weird like that.
Yeah.
It's real animation. That stuff's a little weird.
That's the
That was
one.
my first introduction to Lord of the Rings before I got a hold of the books. And stuff like that.
Well, back to my original question though. Do we need another Watchmen though? Of the original,
Story.
another remake of the canon
I
story.
don't think so.
Especially when you have so many more other stories to tell. What you're thinking, Tommy? What you got?
I could see them doing a animated Watchmen that's more faithful
Mm-hmm.
because in the Zack Snyder one they changed the ending.
Right.
I could see
Right.
them just wanting a more faithful representation. But if you're asking me, no.
Uh-huh.
Let Watchmen breathe. It was one
Yeah.
story that
Yeah, it's a great story, and
They've
they've done a lot of. They've done it. They got a lot out of it. They got a lot of mileage.
You got a lot of mileage out of it already, in my opinion.
let it breathe.
Especially when we have stories that fans are still clamoring for, like Kingdom Come.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
my God! Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
come on. You know what I'm saying? Why do you keep remaking this stuff?
that would have to be a miniseries. to do
4
it.
parts.
Yeah,
Four
that had to be
parts.
I'd say 4 parts.
That had to be a 4-part.
That had to be a
sure.
It had to be
4-parter.
like an hour each. It had to be
Yeah.
long.
They over here
But-
doing
That'd be good.
Crisis.
Right.
Crisis on Infinite Earths. They
Yeah.
need,
real one.
The
yeah,
original one.
they need to
Yeah.
do Kingdom
Right.
Come.
Yeah, especially now that hopefully we're going to see some traction in that. Hopefully somebody's listening to the fans, because Alex Ross and Wade just launched a Kickstarter for the Kingdom Come documentary celebrating the 30-year anniversary.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Nice.
that's a great story, and it would be great for live action because his characters were based off of models of
Yeah.
real people.
Mhm.
So it would be a great.
I wouldn't even need it for live action. Just give me animated, and just let me
Yeah.
see them move.
I'm scared of live action. I feel like DC would mess it up. But
Yeah.
as far as the animation goes,
Yeah, their animation is better.
yeah, it's
They
way
got Marvel
better.
beat on the animation.
Yeah,
Marvel
100%.
does better live action.
Yeah.
They do
Yeah.
better animation.
100%.
That's
So-
true.
What would you like to see a Kingdom Come?
Yeah, I would love that. To
Love
see.
it.
But
I would love
the
it.
documentary had to hear them apply today, because I just think there's a lot of correlation between Kingdom Come and what's happening today.
Oh yeah.
In just in our world and then
Yeah.
in the world.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be a great.
So
yeah,
that'd
you're
be
right.
fun.
That would be great
Yeah.
animated. They have to
Yeah.
have some good animation.
Animation.
has to be
Sure.
good.
Why keep giving me reinterpretations
Yeah.
of Watchmen? It's been
Well-
done on every medium now.
Yeah, it's over. It's time to do something else.
Were you telling me about Passion of the Christ?
Oh, you got a different guy.
That's Blake then. Okay, I think Blake was telling me they're doing a sequel to Passion of the Christ.
Why?
Yeah, I saw that. I thought that was a joke.
Oh my
I
God.
saw it
Yes.
on the internet. I thought that was a joke,
And
so I
that's-
did not. So I did not pay it any attention.
It is a lead-in into the Jesus Christian universe. There's
They're
going
gonna
to be
What are they gonna have?
multiple-
Jesus Christ Superstar or something?
All right,
in here?
Stop.
if this is a joke, I mean it's.
Now,
it's
Ed-
gotta
Come
be
on now,
No,
nuts.
no,
stop.
no.
They gotta stop.
Blake had it. I
They
mean,
gotta
as he's
stop.
kind of showing me, it's like
I gotta
this
look
is
that up.
serious.
I gotta look
Exactly.
that up.
I saw.
Look it up.
I saw they asked Mel Gibson about it.
Right, because-
they did ask him
But
about it.
they
Yeah.
cannot do anything original. They just if it has to be a proven
A
thing,
proven
They are
for
creatively
them to,
Yeah,
to
that's
dip
good.
their
That's
because
good.
they've taken so many L's. Hollywood has taken
A
major
lot of
L's,
Ls,
man,
man.
over
Yeah.
the
I mean,
past
you gotta think of it.
5 years.
For every John Wick, you get 4 or 5
Right.
L's.
Yeah,
That's a lot of L's to take.
that's a lot of L's. But to be so creatively bankrupt is scary to me, especially when there's again, back to my point, there are things that are worthwhile that have yet to see the light of day,
Mm-hmm.
I
just
mean,
creatively.
It's just like they were doing the Born Again thing for Daredevil,
Uh-huh.
and they had to send it back because the original one was way off shot.
Yeah.
But that's because of the L's. They're
Yeah.
I hope that they're trying to course correct. We just did.
Well, they course corrected it. The guy fired the original
Yeah,
director.
we just
and
did a
trashed all the
we
first
just
8
did
episodes.
an interview. If you guys haven't checked it out yet, we just interviewed Larry Houston, who was the creator of the original X-Men,
Everything.
and talking Thundar the Barbarian, X-Men,
Love
Spider-Man and His
Thundar.
Amazing Friends, the first black animator on Saturday morning television.
Love this stuff.
Okay, we just interviewed him. Check it out on our channel. Just posted it yesterday,
2 days ago.
2 days ago. Larry
see
Houston.
that.
But when we were talking to him, the reason the conclusion I came to, the success that they have and that X-Men 97's having, is that you actually have professional creative fans, the Holy Trinity,
Yeah.
right? Not just professionals, not just creatives.
No. But fans
Professional,
fans of
creative
property.
fans,
Yeah.
right? That feel some type of loyalty to the
product,
IP.
Yeah.
That's what I think we're missing,
Yeah.
and I think they stopped taking L's. What you think about that, Tommy?
No, I think that's the sauce because
It is.
it's one thing. You can work on something and not have any passion for it. That shows.
Mhm.
In the same way that if you're working on something that you believe in and have passion for, that shows. X-Men's been around a long time.
Yeah.
To know how those characters interact with each other
Yeah.
and be able to condense that and put it on
Mhm.
screen,
That takes
that's
a
not
lot.
a thing that you can get. You
Right.
can't read through a couple issues of X-Men and say,
No,
I understand.
That's years of watching. I mean, you can see that when you look at the Star Wars movies, the
Yeah.
successful ones that are made by people who really understand what Star Wars is
Yeah.
about. Basically, people just trying to create their whole new, what they think Star Wars
Right.
is. You know, it's a whole different feel because they
Right.
really get the property. They
get
really
it.
get it. They
They get it.
understand it. You know, you see that from the success of The Mandalorian. They understand it.
Yeah.
Versus some of the other properties haven't been as successful because they don't get it. And it's there.
Right.
You can do it, but just...
Well, here's what they've done. This has been the practice that has now become public knowledge, that the powers that be think that it's a worthwhile formula to pursue of bringing in people that are totally disconnected from the canon for the sake of getting fresh ideas.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, Jay?
You're trying to. It's so hard to say because you're trying to bring in people that are not aligned with the culture to, do what do they say, like looking outside the box, trying to get an outside the box viewpoint to help bring something fresh instead of just. My thing is give us what we are expecting, and then if we get tired of it, then give us something fresh or something new or something different. But y'all can't even give us what we know to be true,
right?
And just give us, like Watchmen, just something true to the source material. I think the only thing that really was different was it wasn't an alien at the end. It was
I think that's a great analogy for Star Wars because they did the second Watchmen series on HBO. They kept true to the product. They did a totally new story
of after,
and people loved it because it stayed in their vibe. What they did with The Mandalorian, they had a bunch of people making it, but they were all fans of Star Wars. 100%. Real Star Wars fans that actually had the creative ability. So they brought something new, but they didn't mess up the
source material.
The source material.
Whenever you start like trying to change people's origins and stuff like that in the beginnings of stories to add your twist, you're going to rub people the wrong way. Yeah. You just are. We've never seen, aside from what happened in DC Rebirth, we never saw what happened after Watchmen. What happened to them later? We never got that.
Tell that story.
Yeah. What happens when Ozymandias left and Owlman, him trying to get revenge on Ozymandias? Like, give us that. Like, Silk Spectre's still alive. Like, a whole new generation of heroes after that, or Rorschach clan or something like that. Like, give us what happened after that. We don't get
stuff.
I would watch that.
Yeah, it's the stories we don't get.
People would love
that.
Right.
We don't get that.
The proof is in the pudding. They already showed that they can do the after Watchmen stuff, and people loved it. That show was
we got that with the HBO because that was all after.
It's an untold story. Yeah.
But again, we could live in that world just to see how far-reaching the repercussions from that core Watchmen story.
Yeah.
We got the street level with Mother Night. We got the street level view, right? Like I said, I want to see what happened to Owlman. What happened to Silk Spectre?
Yeah, what
happened to Dr. Manhattan?
What happened?
What happened? He wanted to decide to create life. We didn't get that story. What happened? He wanted to create a sun.
Yeah.
Now he has the power. Now you got this big scale thing. They showed you from the book they had aliens, so it was. Or super beings start popping up after. Like, it was so many different things that could have happened.
Right.
Like,
a lot they could have.
Now it's actually super beings.
That's why I was disappointed when they weren't going to do the X-Wing movies.
Yeah.
They canceled the X-Wing movies from Star Wars. I thought that was a chance to do something more Andor-based, more like gritty. These are just pilots grinding it out, fighting it out with the Empire. So that would have been a great set of stories. Mm-hmm. But when they get goofy, I mean, that's the difference between like Wonder Woman 1 and Wonder Woman 2. Wonder Woman 1 was great. Wonder Woman 2 was garbage.
So when it came out on Christmas, I remember that.
Oh
my goodness.
Who came up
with
that
story?
That was bad.
Why wouldn't they just have Wonder Woman being Wonder Woman? She's a warrior. And this guy reincarnated. Get a new character.
Brought him back. Different body.
That 5 minutes of conversation that we just had is the reason why you want fans working on your stuff.
Yeah.
Because everything that you two just said, that makes sense from a logical progression of the story.
Right.
You have to have read it and brought those characters into your
for
mind.
sure.
When I tell you, if you guys have not watched the Larry Houston interview here on Generation Geek that I just put up 2 days ago, watch it. The brother tells it all. How they set him up for failure with X-Men in '92, right? They set this dude up for failure. They did not want it done. Okay, his boss had to put her job on the line because they had already done prior to the X-Men.
Yep.
Right?
The pilot.
They had already done prior to the X-Men. He was on that.
The pilot,
he was already on Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. Right? But he was a comic book dude that rose through the ranks in professional animation. When they were working on the development of it, he said none of the writers knew anything about the X-Men. Mm-hmm. He said, so he went home and got he went home and got his whole collection and brought it in and said, okay, and he taught them, but they were professional writers. So he wasn't a professional writer; he was a storyboard artist and director. And so when you put fans, right? Again, don't get it twisted. You cannot have fans running the whole show.
No.
That's why I said creative, professional fans, right? They all have to be in place. Because we go into some weird places. Let's just be weird. That's fans.
Yeah.
We see it in comics in the whole 9 yards of people in the indie publishing. You know, the Wild West that it is now. You know.
Yeah, it's out there.
Man.
Love my fans, but doesn't
Sometimes.
necessarily make you a pro,
Sometimes,
right?
yeah.
You know, creatively. But you see what happens with not just X-Men in 92, but what happened in X-Men 97. They brought them back. They brought them back to consult.
And it was great. The story was
You know what I
great.
mean?
It was a great story.
This stuff ain't rocket science, man. It is not that hard to make hits that we enjoy.
Especially adaptations.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
not even being asked to.
It's not even original.
thing.
But you know, a lot of people just got this thing that they got to spin it. It's got to be different.
Right.
It's got to be
gotta have a
so
little
edgy
twist.
It's an
or
American
different.
thing too, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's got to be so
Our
different.
handprint has to be somewhere.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
has
and
to
you
be.
can do some good twists because look at the Batman franchise. The movies, there's a lot of different Batman.
Yeah.
But if that's done right, you got the original Tim Burton stuff, you got the Nolan stuff, you
Yeah.
got the new Batman movie. If it's done right,
There's room
We'll,
for
we'll,
it.
we'll buy,
Yeah.
there's room for it, and that's a great segue. Shout out to Super Slot 75, our brother, watching. Great segue. The Penguin, HBO Max. Thoughts,
two
feedback.
thumbs up.
I haven't watched it yet.
2 thumbs up.
I haven't watched it
All right.
yet.
Outstanding. My wife's not even a
I haven't
comic book
seen it.
fan.
You haven't seen
Okay.
it?
I don't have
And
HBO.
she loves it.
Have you checked it out, Tommy?
You know I've seen that.
Okay.
Ah,
My wife's not even.
Give us
He
what
doesn't
you
use
got.
HBO.
Give us what you got. It's spoiler free as possible. Okay.
I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna start tonight. And Agatha.
All right, so you got to give it 5 minutes because they got to do a recap for the people that didn't see the Batman.
Okay.
Right.
So they can set up the world.
Right.
Once they get the Penguin on to what he's supposed to be doing, hey, it's a roller coaster, man. I was locked in.
Yeah. You actually sit there, and I rarely sit there. Sometimes I'll fast forward through stuff because it's boring. I watch everything.
All of it,
You
yeah.
need every word.
You do.
Because if you
What?
miss a minute,
It's always setting you up.
It's setting you up. And you're
Yeah.
loving, like I said, my wife's not even a comic book fan, but she was looking forward to it. And
Your
she
mom.
watched it.
Yeah,
and
my
she's
mom-
like,
my-
she's like, oh my God, this
Yeah.
is good. When, is there a next episode?
My
She's
wife,
asked me.
my wife is
Yeah.
like, she was there on Sunday, and the guys didn't come out the Sunday night. She was there before. Like, when's the Penguin coming out? The next episode.
Right,
Let me.
yeah.
All right. So, I think this is about as masterful as you can get with a character like the Penguin.
Yes.
Right.
sure.
Yeah.
Number one, the prosthetic makeup is incredible.
Oh man, you don't know.
Oh,
that's
you
a
do
real
not know
person.
that as Colin Farrell.
Yeah. You do
Right.
not.
It is amazing. But then when you take away the fantastic geek elements that we've grown accustomed to from Batman from the 60s all the way through current canon when it comes to the Penguin, you're left with a mobster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I think it's just brilliant. See, I want to hear you guys' take because I am biased to gangster movies. I love gangster movies. You know what I'm
love a good
saying? I
gangster
love gangster movies.
Because it's more than just violence.
And so I was like, well, maybe it's just me,
Yep, it's the thinking,
right?
yep, it's the
Maybe
chess,
it's just
yep.
me, right? You
It's-
know,
it's very
as a fan
cerebral,
of gangster movies. But when you see how smart he is and
Yeah.
how he's playing
How he's
everybody like chess pieces to ride, because he's a low-level gangster.
Yeah.
That's the thing about it. He ain't even a boss yet.
Yeah,
That's what's got me
he's just
excited
he's,
about
he's
it.
just a crew. He's like a little crew guy.
Yeah, he's not even a capo. He's kind of like a lieutenant.
lieutenant,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
he's
A
a
low-ranking lieutenant. You know what I'm
and
saying?
it's the appearance. You talked about the appearance. They constantly underestimate it because of his leg.
Because of his lip and
Oh,
his
yeah.
appearance.
He
Yeah.
doesn't look dangerous,
Yeah.
but he's dangerous.
Right, and
'Cause
he
it's
doesn't
up
like
here.
being called Penguin.
Yeah,
Like
he
when they
doesn't.
say Penguin, you see he has his little short, and he doesn't overplay it.
But he has this look in his eye.
You can tell it's like he's gonna swallow it because he's outranked.
Yeah.
You know what I
I
mean?
thought that was a really brilliant part in in casting him for that in the beginning was why not just get someone older?
Right.
You know, I can think of a couple older actors that
Yeah.
can pull that off. Having the younger guy, there is, I think, a forceful power that comes through that maybe not
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, because
if it was a genuinely older
yeah,
person.
he seems hungry.
He's more menacing.
The way he plays the Penguin is very hungry.
Yeah,
very
he's starving. He's like, he wants to be boss so bad.
Yeah,
you know.
And he's looking for the way
That's why
to
made me go home and watch it.
to get around, and the people around him are just
I'm about to
oblivious
leave
to the
right
danger
now.
that he is.
to the genius.
Yeah.
that they're
It's
dealing with.
like they put him in this box.
Put him in this box,
and they're trying to make him stay there,
Right.
stay in your place.
And
But this
he's
dude has
just like-
aspirations.
and he's outmaneuvering.
He's
them.
ruthless. You know what I mean? And anytime you can make somebody as reprehensible as this kid, like there is nothing endearing about the character of the Penguin in this show. He is truly not a hero, just a protagonist.
Yeah,
He is like
truly-
when we say protagonist, we think hero.
Yeah.
No, he's not the hero of the story.
Yo,
He's the protagonist because he is vile.
He is a bad guy. When you think about bad guys, he's a bad guy. And I think what I love about it, everything about the Penguin is so bad. I mean, he looks repulsive.
Yeah.
His actions are repulsive. His thinking's repulsive. But you can't stop watching because you want to see this guy
I want
win.
to see what he's gonna do next. I want to see him win.
Right.
It's like
You
I actually want to
win.
see this
You want to see
scum
him
of the
win,
earth win
Beat
I
the
gotta
other
watch
scum.
it,
Beat the other
because the other
scumbags.
people are so much.
They just
They're
bad.
worse.
Yeah,
They're
worse.
they're worse. They're what we hate about society. People that are pretentious, people that are oppressive, that have power and don't know how to use it wisely. It's just given to them, and they don't really deserve
And
it.
they're just out there.
You know what I mean?
They think they have the right to it.
Yeah, man. If you haven't checked out The Penguin on Max, there's only 2 episodes in.
Please watch.
Watch it, okay?
watch.
Dude,
Wa-
I got work to do. I got work to do.
It'll be a satisfying 2
I
hours.
got
Yeah,
work.
man.
It'll be a satisfying 2 hours.
And so, staying on that, I found something interesting. I was watching huge YouTuber, doesn't know us from a can of paint, named Comic Drake, and he just did.
I don't know.
He does deep dives into like the legal part and comics history, and he's a historian. If you check out Comic Drake, I love his channel. But he just did a review of someone said David Watts says
Better than
it's
Acolyte.
better than Acolyte. It is better than Acolyte, Eddie.
I did like Acolyte.
but see,
but it's much better.
So
It's much better.
what he did was he did a deep dive as to, and I never paid attention to this. So tell me if you guys noticed this. And it's about why have we not seen Batman in a television format since the '60s, since Adam West. And his theory
I've wondered
is
that for a long time.
Yeah.
that Marvel, DC Disney may own it, may own the television appearance of Batman. What? Through the purchase of ABC.
Right,
Right.
because the old series was
never-
on.
we've
That
never
makes
seen-
sense.
The
He
old
was-
series was on ABC.
It was on ABC.
ABC.
And so through some, you got to watch it. It was
Gotham,
fascinating.
and it makes
And
sense.
it's only a theory. He's not
even
proving
the Teen
it.
Titans.
But he pulls up.
Yeah.
He pulls
Even
up
the
all
Teen
of the
Titans, they show like
he pulls up all of
glimpse of
the
them.
of the legal records and the purchases, right, that have happened during that time.
Trying to
And
think.
you never see him outside of a shadow or a silhouette or some type of dreamy sequence. And you never see, you may see Bruce Wayne, but you will not
never
see
see
Batman,
Batman.
right?
Like,
Like
I was just mentioning the Teen Titans.
we
Bruce
saw
Wayne was
we
in
saw
there.
we
Yeah,
saw when
Kevin Conroy.
we saw when
Game
Kevin
of Thrones
Conroy was in
Yeah.
the harness
Yeah.
as Bruce Wayne,
Right.
We saw Teen Titans, we saw Bruce Wayne,
Right.
And then when they did show Batman, he was in darkness. You just saw
Right.
the silhouette,
Yeah.
right? But there may be a reason that
It may be some legal stuff.
they may have that they believe that DC or whoever
Marvel. or
Time
Disney,
Warner
yeah.
cannot use the television version of Batman since the purchase of ABC when
Wow, that's
the
deep.
Adam West was
That's-
on there.
that's
We've
wild.
seen everybody else. We've seen Robin,
Yeah.
right? We've seen Nightwing,
Wow, you've seen the whole Teen Titans.
but you've never seen Batman.
Wonder Woman.
And he's
Batman
not in
Superman.
this.
Superman, Green Arrow.
Now they're hoping that we may be able to see him in this because the laws are still being formulated for what streaming service really means.
Right.
It's not technically TV, but I think according to his theory, which I thought was very interesting, it's better safe than sorry at this point until it's defined whether or not they can use Batman
You
for
don't
streaming.
Run at Disney.
Yeah.
You don't wanna make a run with the
you
mouse.
don't wanna make a run. at Disney. It's funny you talk about legal stuff because it's interesting in how we were talking about movies and stuff like that. How when Marvel was going through their bankruptcy years, they offered to sell all the stuff that they made all these Avengers movies off for pennies on the dollar, and all they wanted was Spider-Man, X-Men, and Fantastic Four.
That's it.
And they say, take all this other stuff, it's garbage.
Yeah.
And they made better movies than all those other movies combined.
Absolutely.
So it's funny that the legal stuff will keep you out of the game.
Check out Comic Drake.
I'm going to have to check that out.
Check out
I've
Comic
wondered
Drake.
about that.
I'm like, that's an interesting theory. He's not stating it as a fact, but when he pulls the research, it's very compelling.
I wondered about that.
I never paid attention to it. That we've never seen Batman.
I thought about it because every show, even that one on Fox, what was it?
Gotham.
He never made it to Batman.
You never see Batman. Yeah.
It's still part of the whole
how's it going?
that whole bat embargo thing, all the way from Justice League Unlimited. It's still part of that whole thing. The whole bat embargo, how they could never have like Robin or Nightwing, like in a grudge match episode in Justice League Unlimited with Green Arrow, want to go help, and you saw Nightwing, his silhouette, but you never could see. It's the same thing. You could either have Batman in it and none of his cast, or you could have the rest of his cast and not Batman.
Because it's too much.
It's still that whole
the
Bat
legal
embargo
crossover
thing.
stuff. Yeah.
Remember Death of Superman?
Yeah.
There was that one piece of art. I don't remember the artist.
Yeah, well, it was the dead
casket.
Robin. Yeah.
And the pallbearers, and then there's everyone else around. Well, I got the T-shirt for it. No Batman.
No Batman.
No Batman.
T-shirt.
And if you notice when they had Batman vs.
That's
Superman,
crazy.
when they looked in the Batcave, they also had the Jason Todd,
Robin
clothes.
But
they had his clothes.
Yeah.
But you're right. Even in the movies, you only see one.
You only see one. You
So
either
the
get Batman or
theory
you get the rest of his
is
cast.
the mouse may own the TV rights to the Bat. That is the theory. Check out Comic Drake.
I wouldn't be surprised.
He does a deep dive. I don't want to butcher it by.
DC cannot win for legal.
They really can. They really can. Oh my god! How could you have that character? All the characters.
Yeah.
You're one of your like flagship guys, and you can't show them because there've been a bazillion iterations of Superman on TV.
Yeah.
All of you think Batman Beyond?
DC can't get a break.
Can't get a break. I mean, you have Wonder Woman TV series.
Right.
You got Lois and Superman just about to end now.
Yeah.
You can't win.
Again, it's still a gray area as to how streaming is defined legally when it comes to television, because technically it is not television. Technically, the way the technology works.
Public airwaves.
Yeah, and it's not public. It's by subscription, and
so it's private. Yeah.
But I guess I think they're playing it safe, which is smart considering how.
Like you said, the legalities of it.
Yeah.
They want to hit you with a lawsuit. They're gonna let you do everything.
Yeah, you get that.
Make all that
cease and
money.
desist. It's a wrap.
We're looking up on Wikipedia.
It's a wrap. Did you looking it up?
Yeah, I mean it makes sense because you think about Justice League after I think like season 1 Unlimited, where he when Terry finds out that Batman's his father and ain't the show. After that, you saw no more Joker. You saw no Batman villains, no race, nothing. It was either Batman or his Rose Gallery or his you never saw him after that. It was after that.
Yeah.
Like
No
Two-Face, nothing.
Nothing.
With the Legion of Doom, nothing.
With the guy who played Jorah from Game of Thrones.
You come join us on camera, man. Come join us. Come on, you got to say. Yeah, come on, come over and join us, man. We want to hear what you got to say.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that was,
it's an open format, man. Anybody's welcome.
That was the craziest thing.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about it legally, but you're right. You don't see them on TV.
Look at this X-Men comic. That's only $1. Come on over here.
No, I love it. So the mystery continues. If you guys have, if you guys have some comments or some feedback on it or some info, leave it in the comments. Let us know
about what you said about
Let us know.
Justice League Unlimited until you said it.
Yeah.
All the Bat family stayed on the Batman show, and none of them came on Justice League.
None of
them. It was just Batman.
Because it happened
now
around
I'm
that
thinking back,
time.
and I watched that show religiously. And there's no Robin, and there's no way you couldn't have had a Nightwing.
Nothing
on that show.
They had the cameo with him when they went to Bloodhaven.
But it was television.
And you can see him, but it's only his silhouette. You don't actually see Nightwing.
You don't.
Yeah. It's just a silhouette.
And they had everybody on that show. They went and got the Shining Knight guy with the sword.
That's
from
from everybody. You saw no more villains, and then somehow Black Manta got roped into that too. That's why they had Devil Ray.
Right.
Instead of Black Manta.
Somehow
he got roped into it.
Well, that's just like the stuff from the early stuff you were talking about, the early years. When they had Black Vulcan instead of Black Lightning.
Instead of Black Lightning,
Right.
What's the Black Lightning creator's name?
I remember the artist.
I think that's why they couldn't do Black
Van,
Lightning
I forget
because
his
of legal
name.
problems.
So that's what I was
He
going
was
to bring up.
17.
They can't use Black Lightning. Well, they can, but they don't want to pay the creators of the character.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He is Isabella.
Tony
Tony
Isabella.
Isabella.
Tony Isabella.
So every
Yeah.
time you see Black Lightning, they have to pay.
Yeah.
That's why the CW only did 3 seasons.
So this may be a little bit off script, but that's fine. We just talking here, as we always do. How can that not adversely affect the fandom?
Oh, it
I mean,
does.
I think we are paying a severe price
For X-Men.
for all of the legal circuses that are happening behind the scenes. What's up, Fatal J in the house? What's going
all
on?
the stuff with the X-Men and the mutants. How
Yeah.
much did we miss from Fantastic? How much did we miss
Because
out
of legalese.
Yeah.
on good stories
think
in the
of-
MCU?
Because
From
think
that.
about it. Because imagine the in-game story with the X-Men as part of it.
Yeah.
I mean, you
Yeah.
got a whole wealth of characters that you couldn't use. Until you saw this recent Deadpool versus Wolverine.
Yeah.
Thanks, Fatal J. Smash that
They
like
finally
button.
got the money to get them all back
Yeah.
Absolutely.
through the mouse.
So that's a valid point, though. Endgame is a perfect example to where they couldn't not address it. Doctor Strange had to ask the question: is there anybody else?
Is there anybody
Right.
else? He's like, who else do you want?
Yeah,
Right.
you expected
Right.
more? Yeah.
Fact.
So 100%. What's another one? I know it's just not in my brain right now. There are storylines that they changed in the MCU because the characters weren't there.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Civil War, another one.
Civil War. Yeah.
Yeah.
Civil War, yeah.
Yeah.
The mutants were
Yeah.
There.
loosely involved, but
And we pay the price for it.
Bishop
I mean,
was involved.
It boils
Fantastic
out.
Four.
Didn't have the Fantastic Four. They were
Yeah.
a big part of Civil War.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were.
And again, you would think that now I think that from what I've heard, Sony is trying to reconcile some things with Marvel and Disney moving forward with Spider-Man
Yeah.
to try to bring the totality of the Spider-Man
Yeah.
canon.
Vulture, all those guys.
Yeah.
with basically they split the pot.
Yeah.
You know, because as we know, Sony has been screwing the pooch. Now, granted, I have very loose information on this, but there's other YouTube channels that are talking about it. That it's believed that Sony is now going back to the talking table with Marvel and Disney to see if they can try to reconcile the entire Spider-Man movie universe. You know, to do it in tandem because again, they have the rights to the characters, but it's splitting hairs. It's like, what stories do they have the rights to?
Right.
Yeah. Marvel got all
Yeah.
the stories, and you got Spider-Man, and you got Kraven the Hunter coming out.
Oh my gosh, that terrifies me.
Kraven's Last Hunt. Come on now.
Like,
that's right there.
man.
I still
That's
want to
right
see
there.
the right spider. I just want to see
Oh,
like,
my goodness.
please, yes, I want to see the I want to see the Venom, the
Yeah.
definitive
Right.
Venom with the psychosis against the spider, and
Right.
you know what I mean. I want to see real Venom, not Eddie Brock in a goose suit.
Well, technically, Solo, it's a dragon.
Yeah, technically it's
Technically
a
it's a dragon.
it's a Grindel. It's a dragon.
Gotta love the retcons,
It's
right?
technically it's a
Gotta love the
dragon.
I mean,
retcons.
so, yeah, that's bad. It's just bad.
Yeah.
and they can do so much with those characters,
Uh-huh.
but you can't do it. I mean, like all of Spider-Man's got a lot of villains they can't bring in. It's got
Yeah.
a lot of
Yeah, we're missing out. We're
missing out.
We're missing out. And, you know, y'all figure it out, man. Y'all go back. Look, there's enough money for all of y'all. Okay, jeez,
No, for real.
Yeah,
jeez,
just spread the
grief.
wealth, baby. Share the wealth.
Share the wealth. You know, that's we'll end it on that note. All right, so we are now 3 episodes into Agatha All Along. All right, pro Agatha,
I like
go.
I like it. I assumed it was going to be more of a comedy, which is what it is to me.
Okay.
It was going to be more of a comedy-focused thing. You're starting to learn a little bit about Agatha, who she was. You know she was a shithead. She was a bad witch. She did a bunch of bad
Right.
shit. But you're starting to learn a little bit more about her and witches in general in the Marvel Universe, how magic works outside of Doctor Strange.
Right.
Because when you heard about the Scarlet Witch in the movies, you seem like that's a whole...
Take it easy,
right,
man.
take it
Good to
easy.
see you.
That's a whole different system of magic than what Doctor Strange does.
Right.
And that's
yeah.
the way they made it seem. So you're learning about a whole nother magical world and how it works within the Marvel Universe. Because they're all in there.
So your favorite part is is the building of the magic systems.
The building of the magic
the
systems
supernatural,
And,
yeah.
and learn and seeing the other witches. Because
Because Scarlet Witch's magic is kind of
That's
different.
that
It
Darkhold.
doesn't really.
the Darkhold
it doesn't
stuff.
apply.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
that's
chaos.
the
Right.
Darkhold chaos magic. But when you see
I-
the other mentions,
yeah.
they're actually using spells
Right.
and sigils and stuff like this. So it's
Right.
just different.
Because she has that mutant component, which kind of shifts how it works for her. And quite honestly, the canon is so convoluted when it comes to the Scarlet Witch
And
that
Quicksilver.
and again, if you have a broken magic system, you inherently break the story.
Yep.
Right.
And that's what a lot of people don't understand when it comes to storytelling. You know, there's a whole we kind of teach that at Kapow about how to build these systems into your universe when you're doing your world building, right? And so they had to kind of abandon all of that from the canon
Right.
and retcon it for the big screen.
With the
But still,
Tesseract and-
yeah, with the Tesseract and blah blah blah. But to your point, I didn't think about it that way. I like the attempt. I don't know if it's gonna stick. The attempt to establish the magic in the MCU.
world building
Right.
part of it.
I do like that.
I wonder if it's gonna stick too, because that I'm like they're really working at it. They're showing that there's spells that witches can use.
But I mean,
Or
did you have to
Dr.
use?
Agatha.
Did you have to go down the Dark Wizard of Oz? That's
No,
all I look. I'm like,
yeah,
you're on
the
Dark
witch's
Wizard of
roll.
Oz with the story.
The witch's
watch
roll.
You know what I mean?
I gotta watch it.
Yeah, that
I'm
part I was
slacking,
like,
bruh. I gotta watch it.
okay. I know they had to find a way for her to get her powers back, but I'm gonna see where it goes.
This is David. Dave's Eddie's favorite new show. Hey, Dave, miss you, man.
I'm gonna see where it goes with that. I like the new characters. I like some of the new witches they brought on.
Okay. Have you seen it?
I've seen it.
What do you think?
So this is the thing, man. I'm on record. I thought they shouldn't have made the show.
That's a more record.
I can't lie and say I didn't.
Yeah,
see
we
it.
have. I think we
Yeah.
have it on here.
Yeah, definitely have it.
I watched it. This is the thing, man. If you got 30 minutes at a time every week,
Yeah.
you can put it on and you're going to be entertained.
Right.
I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Right.
I still stand on that. There's other stories they should make.
Yeah, for
I'd have
sure.
been more interested in seeing the Vision story before I saw Agatha, because he's still out there.
Well, here's my question. I don't want to go too far off the road when it comes to Agatha. My question: how did Agatha survive all the cuts with Disney with their recalibration?
Come on, man.
Yeah, because they cut a lot of stuff.
Explain that to me.
Come on now.
Because they cut a lot of stuff.
They cut a lot of things.
stuff, and for her to,
How did
I
Agatha
was wondering
survive?
about that too. I was like, of all the properties that you're gonna keep,
Agatha.
I just kept something else and slid Agatha to
For
the side
sure.
if I was on it. Because they cut a
Good
lot of
question.
stuff they had planned. Like, is Wonder Man
another
still a
character.
thing and stuff like
Yeah,
that?
they said the Wonder Man still supposed to be coming.
Yeah.
I think Nova supposed to get a show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, Nova.
David Watts says it's another character no one cares about. True.
Nobody
facts.
cares about
True
Agatha
facts.
Harkness. I've never heard. Oh, this is my favorite character. I've never seen a cosplay of Agatha Harkness. I guess
Well, she's
we
an
will
old
now.
lady in the
In the comics,
comics.
she's
Old lady. She's
an
old,
old
yeah,
lady.
old
Old
lady.
raggedy lady. They had to age her down to make her
Yeah.
interesting.
Right.
And like I said, last time I remember her, she was dead in House of M. So other than that,
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Dave is taking shots at you live. This is your
watch
favorite
new
show.
favorite show.
So we have
It is
another.
now.
We have
It
another.
is
We have another pro Agatha all along,
Yes.
of course.
Yes.
What do you like about it?
The furthering of the mythos, it hasn't been the comedy, and they aren't singing all the time.
Yeah, all
I
the
was a little
time.
worried about that.
Okay.
Catherine Hahn, yeah, she's just fun to watch.
Yeah.
She's just a little force, and the name drop. No spoilers, but there's a name drop that happens, and it's just awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Daniel Hughes asked, "Isn't Wonder Man Highfather's biological son?"
No,
My
you're thinking
father?
Orion.
Yeah, he's thinking about Orion,
he's thinking
right?
Orion,
I'm
indeed.
like,
Yeah,
you're thinking
yeah.
Orion, Daniel. You're thinking Orion.
Thinking Orion,
yeah,
indeed.
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, you're
Orion.
thinking of Orion. Yeah.
But that's okay. We don't knock the question.
Yeah.
Thanks for participating.
That's-
No stupid questions.
no stupid questions.
He's thinking about
Who's he thinking about? Maybe we're wrong. Hold on. Jay got
he's
something.
thinking about Miracle Man.
Miracle Man.
Not Miracle Man. Is it Miracle Man?
Well,
Mr. Miracle.
Orion.
Mr. Miracle.
Mr.
He's thinking about
Miracle.
Mr. Miracle.
Scott Free.
Yeah, Scott Free
Free,
is his
yeah.
Highfather's son.
Yeah.
Right.
because of the trade, the exchange.
Well,
right.
That was the Sod, wasn't it? It was the Sod.
No.
Orion.
No, it was
Mr. Free.
It was
Orion. Orion and Scott Free got they
traded for the
it
truth.
was Scott Free. They got
Yeah.
So Miracle Wonder. That's why I think.
Yeah.
We were talking about this the other day.
Yeah, Mr.
Okay,
Miracle.
that was us.
Yeah, Mr.
Yeah.
Miracle. Mr. Miracle is High Father's son,
His
and
bio son.
and
Orion was
is Dark
adopted.
Side son.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out how they're gonna do Wonder Man, considering the comic book origin.
Okay,
sure.
we could talk about that. I want to finish up with
Yeah, Mr. Miracle.
anything else you got about Agatha all along.
Compelling characters.
Yes, sir,
I'm
Dan.
in.
How did she survive the chopping block? Is my question.
They got to be making that shit.
How
like
did she
$10.
survive the chopping?
Oh,
They probably already
Come
paid
on,
her.
man.
well, that
Probably
could be
paid her
it.
in
I mean,
advance
just
already
Further along in the pipeline,
to lock her
and
down.
It might-
They
I-
know
that's
what
what
they're
I'm thinking.
doing story-wise.
Yeah.
Like they know what they're wanting to develop. And again,
And I think
there's a name
you
You
drop
think
that's
she's
huge.
crucial to move the MCU
think-
moving forward, or
I
or
think
at least Magic moving forward in this year?
If the name drop that they dropped
Yeah.
materializes
Yes.
in the Marvel
Also,
universe, she's
yeah.
gonna be crucial.
You talking about Mephisto?
This,
You talking about Mephisto?
Come on, you spoiling
I'm
stuff.
sorry.
I'm about to leave. Hey, no. I heard, but I did hear that she's supposed to man, for real.
My bad.
Since he's out there, since he's
out
out
there.
there, you know,
Right, he be the main one mad about spoilers. He be the
You know,
main
you ain't
one.
never seen me get mad about
He be the main
spoilers,
one.
man.
Now I did heard he was like supposed. She was like
He was
starting
named-
with her
his name
supposed
dropped.
to. It was supposed to replace the whole Kane thing. He was
Which I
supposed
would,
to be the new.
I wouldn't hate.
the new
To be
center of
quite
focus.
honest,
Yeah.
I wouldn't hate.
Mephisto would be great.
I wouldn't hate
to
it.
have Mephisto.
Because the only time we saw him was in that crappy
Spoilers,
Ghost Rider.
right?
Yeah.
You see it?
I mean,
It's
this
right?
is the way
crazy.
to do it.
With
Yeah,
Luke
this
Cage- with,
this is a good vehicle
with,
to bring him in.
Was the Ghost Rider 2 or 1?
with
First one.
the first one
Yeah.
with
Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage, right? That was the only time we saw.
Shame on you, Solo.
Mephisto.
Yes.
I wanted,
Definitely sad.
speaking of Ghost Rider, I
My
was
bad,
hoping, I was hoping
Dave.
he walked in that Wolverine.
Oh, me too. Oh yeah, Nicolas Cage, Ghost Rider.
When they walked
Man.
in,
Yeah.
Blade.
Blade, I was like,
and
maybe Ghost
Elektra.
Rider come on
Yeah,
in
maybe
next.
Ghost
That'd
Rider
be
come out.
great.
That was the
Bring
last
out all
one.
head.
It was the only one.
I wouldn't hate seeing. That would get me excited, quite honestly. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. How she survived, because again, I can't even buy to the fact that they were so far into it. Because these big media companies now,
Like
we saw what happened with Batgirl.
Yeah,
They
the
not
whole movie.
caring. It's like we got to get some hits out here.
Yeah.
And
And
that
that
thing
movie-
was done.
that movie
it
was
edited.
finished.
They
It was
had
finished.
You know what I mean? And they said no.
We're gonna take the tax write-off.
They said burn it. We'll take the write-off. We'll take the hit.
They
Burn
should
it.
do that to Madam Web.
They should have done
Now,
that.
yes, they should have.
Man,
now
they
that
should
should have been a
have done
write-off.
that.
Man,
Sony
they
should have been
should've
like,
done
no
that.
matter where.
Yeah, man.
I haven't watched that movie yet because everybody tells me it's so
Don't.
terrible. It's like
Don't
I haven't
waste
got
your
I
time.
haven't
We
got a
didn't,
good-
we didn't even do a review on it.
I haven't
No,
got a
we
good.
We
watched
went to
it.
go see it to do with the intention
It
of
was
doing
right
a
when
review.
it was right when we started the YouTube channel. Like right when we
Yeah.
started it back up. Like we said, all right, we're gonna do Madam Web. Nah.
We saw it was like nah.
It was like nah.
Yeah, I haven't heard
bruh.
anybody say
it was
anything good
garbage.
about
We
it.
did, we,
it was so
you
bad.
know it's
It
bad
can't be.
because you know how thirsty these YouTube streets are, right? You know how everyone's
For
thirsty for
content.
content. We went there to see it, and we were like, nope, not doing a
Nope,
review on that.
not
Not
even
even
worth it.
It's not even worth the lack of clicks it'll get.
That was so bad.
I'm having a big problem with just everything being hated on. And Tommy, you really pointed out. I mean, you just kind of nailed it.
I do say a lot of
The,
things.
yes.
I do say a lot of things.
Well, one of them, the hate industry.
yeah,
The
yeah.
internet is now.
Yeah,
It is
everything.
that.
Laying out like
It is
was
that.
just-
Yeah.
And that's what happened
Everything
with
is
Madam
hate,
Web.
hate,
It
hate,
was so
Right.
much venom
So
spit
you
on
could've
it.
just joined that.
We didn't, again, when we started the channel, we made it quite clear that we didn't want this channel to be about that,
Yeah.
right? Like even this, that's why we want those who like it against
Yeah,
those
for
who
sure,
don't.
who
That's-
don't. So you get both sides.
because it's something for
Yeah.
everybody, and you can like what you like,
Right.
but intentionally trying to garner followers and views
Just
by
beating up on stuff.
But again,
that was bad.
you're doing more damage to an already damaged industry.
right.
And if we say we love this industry if we love it like we say we do, I'm not saying hide the garbage, but at least point out the garbage. But watch this. You'll like this
and
instead.
that's-
You're gonna give options,
And,
give
and that's what I
solutions.
say too, especially when you talk about the superheroes and the science fiction like
Yeah.
Star Wars and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You're hating on everything, but I grew up.
Well, what do you like?
I'm
What
older
do you
than
like,
probably
right.
everybody here, most likely.
Right.
And I remember when you didn't have this volume of Star Wars. I didn't see Iron Man on
sure.
TV or in the movies in the 90s and the
Right.
early 2000s. So you're like, wow, this is great for me.
Yeah.
Right.
and so I'm just loving all of it.
I remember that.
Yeah.
That's why
I'm loving all of it.
All of it.
Even if it's bad, I'll give it a look-see because I will never see
we'll give it a chance.
And sometimes you might get a
we
surprise.
We
give
gave Adam
everything
with
a
it. We gave him a chance.
That.
Like, all right.
Just know that we give everything a chance. We spend our own money because the channel ain't making no money yet. We spend our own money. We go see it even when we know it's going to be garbage. Because, again, to your point, we're all Gen Xers. We remember when this was so far removed from a possibility for us.
Right. That you was never
You know what I'm
see.
saying? It's like, and now it's like, well,
they'll never put Batman and Superman in a movie together.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Wouldn't that be great to see the Hulk fight Abomination?
Who knew who Iron Man was?
Eddie.
No.
Nobody knew who Iron Man was.
Just us.
Yeah, just the comic book guys.
Yeah.
No, for sure. I remember we saw Madam Web. He sat down, looked at me, he said, "How bad do you think it's gonna be?" I said, "No, don't start that." And we watched it, and
I would love to see the cast do a good movie.
Yeah, for sure.
They had a good cast.
Show me the movie that it was before they hacked it apart.
But
they pulled all the Spider-Man out.
Because
And
that's one of the big things about
Yep.
all of those movies. Spider-Man is key to all these characters, and he's not
key to
dead.
all the
He's a
characters.
cornerstone.
He's a cornerstone. These are Spider-Man.
They tried to do a baby Peter, unborn Peter was the You have to protect him. Who is that? Unborn Peter Parker.
You can't take Spider-Man out
unborn
of
Peter?
the Spider-Man universe.
He's a Nexus being.
Right?
He's
I like that. Yeah,
right.
Nexus being.
Everything comes. Everything branches from him.
Yeah, and that's the problem when you don't have Spider-Man. You don't have it.
Yeah.
And they keep trying to make these movies without the character, and it's not gonna work.
So to be clear, all right. So let me say where I stand on Agatha. I don't love it. I don't hate it. I don't care. Does that make you know what I mean? I largely do not
it's
care.
Just there for you.
Right? It's there.
He's been influenced.
I think I'm like everyone else. In the fandom. I'm so over identity politics, right?
Yeah.
And the forced and corrupted efforts that are DEI and putting things on screen just to say, hey, I'm behind you, right? But not having any real creative substance. I mean, I'm over it. You dig what I'm saying?
You can do adjustments, but you have to do them right.
Well, my thing is the intent bleeds through the property.
But that's what
you don't even mask it well.
That's what I'm saying. You got to do it right. Like
you see what I'm saying?
Battlestar Galactica, the newer iteration, they made Starbuck a female when she was a man.
Right.
But it worked because the character was intense. And it was a good story building around the character.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You could make those changes, but like you say, it has to have a story behind it. You can't just say,
give me substance,
she's a woman
with
no substance.
No
substance. That's not going to work.
Don't give me pandering. Give me some substance. Again, to your point, I was indifferent about Starbuck, quite honestly, because I was never really a fan. But when you talk about fandom, the things that I am a fan of, again, I don't need race and gender swapping. Yeah. We are attracted to our avatars, right? The characters that resonate with us because of the things that we do have in common, the things that we can relate to, right? Peter Parker grew a whole Black, Hispanic, Asian fandom, being a white dude in New York because we could relate to being bullied in school. Right. We could relate to not having enough money. Right. We could relate, you know what I'm saying? We could relate to losing a loved one. Right? You understand what I'm saying?
He's the struggling hood hero.
Right.
He's the neighborhood spy. He's struggling.
He lost to gun violence.
Right.
To gun violence.
To gun violence.
Right. You're living in the hood. You get that. Right. And so my question. Again, all you all are welcome to comment. I don't need the excessive pandering.
No, I agree too.
I'm shooting them this weekend. I've been off my square. I know y'all been hearing me say this, but I'm shooting. Sola says, talking about true representation really matters behind the pencil, in my opinion, on the creative side. I don't need it on the fan facing side. Mm-hmm. If the person that can relate to the person that is creating and say, "Ooh, I can do that," that carries more weight. Because guess what? I'm not swinging off of buildings, bro. Right? You dig what I'm saying? I'm not deflecting bullets off my chest. But the person creating it, when I see a Christopher Priest, when I see a Kevin Grievous, when I see a Larry Houston, that representation there matters to me.
And you can do it in ways with certain characters. I mean, like it's like Blade. You didn't have to change him into a white Blade.
No,
The
character
Blade.
resonated.
They loved Blade, and most people didn't even know he was from a comic book.
Nope.
No.
They did not know that was a Marvel comic. When I
Yeah.
told my girlfriend at the time, she's like, "Huh?" I said, "Look, see,
Yeah,
he's a comic book character.
Yeah.
But this is a vampire."
Again,
Cool.
I don't think that it has to be. I think it does many of the properties that are near and dear to us a huge injustice when we distill the essence down to race.
Yeah.
Oh, you dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes. If you want to give me a black character, give me a black character I can really relate to.
Right.
Not
Don't just put a blackface.
Sure. Just, you know what I mean. That's just my spiel. Okay. In talking to when I interviewed with Mr. Houston, of course, not gonna pose him this question. But I want to pose it to you guys. All right, with the shenanigans occurring still with X-Men 97's Beau De-Mayo.
Oh.
Right? All right, so for those of you all don't know, okay, the creative, I'll give him his flowers. The creative powerhouse that he was as the showrunner in X-Men has become the creative pariah, for lack of a better term. And I don't think that he's helping this case. If you guys haven't followed, this is old news. I just wanted to touch on it. Again, leave your comments down in the comments section. Let us know what you think. But now my man is making people pay his OnlyFans to hear his side of the story.
That means you're not getting too many
Thoughts? Thoughts? I don't.
That means he's not getting too many job offers. I mean, the problem with working with Disney and then no longer working with Disney, it's a hard.
Thanks, Daniel.
It's a hard. It's the scarlet letter in a way, because he left one of the biggest companies in the world as far as movies are concerned, and now other people are like, well, I don't know if we want to touch him. I don't know if we want to do nothing with him. And now, I mean, he did a hell of a job with X-Men 97, but he fell out with the powers that be. I mean, look at what's it, Gina Carano. Did I say her name right? Gina Carano from The Mandalorian.
Right.
You haven't seen her in nothing.
No.
You haven't seen her in nothing.
She's doing.
I hear she's making a comeback though. I hear she's making a comeback.
B and C level. I watched the movie she did with Richard Dreyfuss.
Yeah.
It was on cable, and it's an under budget.
But she's doing B and C level stuff, but she's about to be an A-list. She's about to have her own series.
Right.
Yeah.
She's about to get her 8 episodes.
Yeah.
And when you get to 8 episodes, you can do other stuff. Look what Marvel did for the wrestler guy. What's his name? Batista. He's in the Knives Out movie. He's everywhere. He's everywhere. He got a bump from that by Drax the Destroyer. Blew him way up. He's everywhere. Comedy, regular stuff.
Absolutely.
And so you got to be careful.
My thing is this. All right, so we're not even talking about a difference of belief systems. If you guys haven't read, I don't like it. Like Gina Carano, we're talking about somebody that was ousted because of what she believes personally.
Right.
That's broken to me. That's problematic in today's cancel culture.
I disagree that was the issue.
What do you think it was?
I think it was the message itself.
The message itself?
Yeah, I think it was the specific message that she brought up that was problematic.
But
so
what happened to the time when you could?
You gotta be more detailed, Eddie.
A Holocaust comparison. That's
anti-Semitic.
That was part of it.
She crossed the third rail. She crossed one of the political third rails.
Wearing masks is not akin to being part of the Holocaust.
That is true.
Oh,
that is true.
She crossed the
that is
third
true.
rail.
That's just dumb.
Yeah, it's excessive. It's excessive. My question is though, in today's highly hypersensitive climate, is that cancel worthy? Because making and calling somebody anti-Semitic for making not just a stupid statement, one that's just not even really applicable.
Yeah.
Right. You dig what I'm saying?
That's a lack of
comparable.
That doesn't make you an anti-Semite.
That's a lack of knowledge.
Right?
Type of thing.
Does make sense?
No, and what happened to the time?
That's more ignorant and insensitive than it is incendiary, in my opinion.
What happened to
That's
time?
why I think that was the message.
When you
and
could
I
make
think
corrections,
that was just step one.
you can go on TV and say, "I made a mistake."
Double down.
Okay.
Yeah,
She doubled down on it.
Yeah,
And
that's
yeah,
what
so
killed
she
it.
kept
If
up
she
a
came
little
out,
bit.
if she came out and said, "You know what? That was insensitive.
Teaching
My
moment.
understanding was not correct." You know, I think that wearing masks is oppressive, but this is not the same.
It ain't.
thing.
It's not.
They just slid it
really
under
not
the
even
rug.
comparable.
They just slid it under the rug.
Clean it up a little bit.
Furthering going down that
Right.
path and not wanting to back off of it. But that's why I
And
think it
so,
was the message.
to your
not
point,
the
I kind of agree with David on this, and I want to hear what you guys think. See, what we want to, and Jay and I will tell you all this. This is a space where you can think different. Okay, you can think different. We're not, as long as you're not spitting hate and venom. All right, we're not going to cast you to the outer darkness because you think different, because you disagree.
To the phantom realm.
Right? David says, our ever-loving, hyper-vocal David Watt says, Gina's case is different. It was over her political and personal religious beliefs, and that I agree with. When we did a deep dive, and that's somebody who is a, quote-unquote, no, I am, a born-again Christian, part of the clergy, got the whole black shirt with the white collar, got all the things. That's what I saw moving forward, right?
Yeah.
Is that because it's so unpopular in today's landscape to where we live in a place now that we can't even disagree without being canceled.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you got to go along.
You see what I'm saying?
You got to go along with the whole so-called mainstreaming of culture.
Right. If you don't believe what I believe, you're a hater.
Yeah.
What?
That is
That's crazy.
What?
Yeah,
Are you
that's
kidding
I
me?
just don't agree with you.
I just
Yeah,
don't agree with you.
We can just agree to disagree, but that doesn't make you evil. Don't make me evil. We just don't see. We just not
But we
the same.
came. But we're all Gen X. We came from that.
Yeah.
That we came from that. What are your
And
thoughts, Eddie?
I just, again, I think it kind of goes to the message when if the message is an exclusionary one, I don't like this group of people.
Yeah.
Especially in an, is that what equity is?
DEI.
Well, you can't have equality with a corporation and a non-human entity. So
sure.
isn't that
Right.
the equity is the corporate sort of equality?
I think the thing with the whole
But you can't have that with
DEI thing is
an exclusionary thing.
Right. You can't exclude people
Well,
intentionally.
a corporation cannot, or business cannot be exclusionary.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
all, I want your money,
sure.
I want
Right.
your money.
Absolutely.
and that's why
And I wanna
corporations
invite
are
you
so
and you and
flaky
you.
because they want everybody to buy their stuff.
Right. So if someone starts saying, I don't like that,
Right.
and they are now a representation of my corporate
Right.
view.
And I understand
that's
why
a
they. I
problem.
understand why they
'Cause
cut
I
it
don't-
because it's
'cause
all
I don't
about money.
agree.
That was money. That was straight
So
money.
I don't know. I don't have
Right.
an answer.
So, but here's my counter to that. Again, we know we're talking about some things that are sensitive, but if it's too sensitive, click away. That's all I can say. Be quite honest. I think that obviously the exclusionary thing is always problematic. I think it's always problematic, but I also think that we should be allowed to state our positions unapologetically and not have them immediately hyper equated to something
With
ultra
negativity.
negative.
And that goes
Yeah.
to the hate industry.
Yeah.
It's just
It's the whole.
Right.
I think people nowadays are soft. I'm sorry. I think they just. I think
They are.
I
They're
think
soft.
I think
Yeah.
they're soft.
And
like
social
tissue
media has
paper.
given everybody a mic where they can voice
Because back
how
in-
they feel, like their
back-
opinion. These are our opinions. They really don't matter, y'all.
Yeah.
No,
No,
seriously.
100%.
They really don't.
Agree?
Yeah.
These are
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
opinions.
This is how I
They
feel.
really. My opinion should not dictate how you live your life, people, in any real way. But social media has made idiots celebrities, thereby making them authorities, which
Right.
is, to me is so disconnected.
And
Right?
remember, what was the
It's
old-
so
what was
disconnected.
the old saying about opinions? Opinions are like buttholes. Everybody got
Everybody
one.
Everybody's got one. Everybody's got
so-
one.
so-
But guess what? You don't
You
agree
said
with
it.
me.
I was
So
thinking it. You said
because
it.
you don't agree with me, you gotta hate me.
And no.
How do you reconcile that? This is absurd to me. You dig what I'm saying? We used to, growing up in the hood, we used to throw hands and throw down,
Yeah.
and then go grab some popping chips afterwards.
Right.
You know what I
became
mean?
friends.
Straight up throw pin.
You became friends with the guy you
Punches.
fought with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
We talking
saying?
about blows. We ain't even talking about just talking
You talking
words. We
about
talking
blows,
yeah, you
blap,
want some of
blap,
this?
blap,
Every
blap,
day,
blap.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Hey man, you want to play some ball? Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
man, you hit me, bro.
Yeah, that was a good hit, bro.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? That's what we came up with. And so when I look at the Gen Zers, the latter tail of the millennials, the level of sensitivity is disturbing.
Well, the fact is, to me, it's all fake in my mind because, like, you cannot live your life that paper thin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And all you're doing, to me, coming from the corporate area, you're hiding how you really feel.
Right.
And your true actions, how you function on a day-to-day basis, is dictated by what you really believe. Right. So I can tell you I'm DIE or I'm anti this or I'm pro this and I love all the people, but my actions are going to say something different.
Right.
I'm going to do whatever thing I can to get my real view across.
To your point, historically, we've seen this, especially since you started. Well, you've seen this. People will say one thing that's popular in the streets, but when it's on the ballot to vote, it feels like, oh wow, that got shot down because it's what they really think, and no one's looking over their shoulder.
Yeah. Right.
I'm like, you made people afraid to express themselves authentically. What is the old saying? Better an honest enemy than a false friend.
Yeah.
I don't care if you don't agree with me. Story time. When I was over in Korea, you know the story. My first day, I walk into my barracks, and there's this white dude. I won't mention his name because he may still be around. Okay, but he was from some small town in Arkansas, right? And I was assigned to be his roommate.
Yeah.
He had never seen a black person in person until he joined the army. Mm-hmm. He was from one of those towns, right? So you talking about could not relate, right? And had no use for any chocolate? Oh, he was all of that. Yeah. You dig what I'm saying? I knew where he stood. Now, mind you, he was my roommate. He ended up changing rooms quickly because it just became intolerable. He was of that inclination. But fast forward a few months, he liked to toss him back, right? He's down in the Ville, right? And this is back when we still fought, and fighting was a pastime back then. It wasn't even like you wasn't even angry. You're just like he's like, nah, man, who are we beating up tonight? Let's go find somebody to throw hands against, right? It was that era. He's in the Ville. Apparently hit on somebody's girlfriend, and this whole nother unit started jumping him. It wasn't nothing but us brothers there from his unit, right? Guess who got into the fight?
You guys.
All of us. You know why? Because he was a bigot, but he was our bigot. Right? You don't get to touch our bigot. It was bigger picture thinking. Because this is the same guy that if we get deployed,
he's going to be the guy with the gun behind me.
He's going to be the guy with the gun behind me. Yep. And I know he's going to do the right thing because I'm his. Right.
And that's the difference.
That's the difference.
They're totally intolerant of everything. But
Man,
is that
crazy.
Actually making this a better world? I don't think so.
It's crazy.
Fellas, I got to slide out.
All right, yeah, we're about to wrap this up. Any good reading this week that you want to let the people know about before we wrap it up?
DC All In Special, Absolute Power.
Yeah. DC All In.
Venom War Spider-Man #3.
Oh, it's a flip book, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's the flip book. Don't forget that.
That's right. It does flip.
Yeah, this is the flip book. This is the. I'm interested in reading this. I might do a review on this. Let me know if you guys want me to do a review on this. And the conclusion to Absolute Power.
That's it.
That's it. That's all that came out this week. Worth reading. Check them out.
X-Men, all kinds of. It's just not
Okay, go to your local LCS. Check it out. We just had. Listen, if you got parents with little kids, bring them to the LCS. Mom just came in with her 2 boys. Shout out to Mama. Go ahead, Mama. Keep them in the life. All right, and listen, that's all we got here from Comic Shop Talk Live. Let us know what you want to talk about. You never know what we're going to talk about in the comic shop, but you know we're going to talk about it. So for Jay, Eddie, O, and Tommy, I am Solo. We'll check it out. Remember, keep it geek. Peace out. Peace.